What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, guys, it finally happened. We ended up getting our July Nintendo Direct, but I don't think it's what everybody expected, and I do want to break it down with you guys, give you guys my thoughts, and kind of just explain what I think is happening right now. So I'm sure you guys know, for the past couple of weeks I've been making a few videos about the possibility of a Nintendo Direct happening in the month of July. It's been one of the biggest rumors, people have been talking about it for a while now, and it finally did happen. But the thing was, like, yesterday I was actually having a stream. I don't know how many of you guys were actually in that stream, but I was talking about like the possibility of what they were going to do, because the date that was rumored was July 20th, and everybody was like, something's going to happen on July 20th. That's what like all of the insider people were saying, and I was always thinking to myself, saying, well, on the 20th that ends up being a Monday, how are they just gonna give us a Direct on Monday? And people were saying it was gonna be like a full-on normal Nintendo Direct, and I was like, well, how are they gonna just drop that on Monday without any prior announcements? And then yesterday people were saying they were going to make an announcement at midnight, and I was like, that's not going to happen. Nintendo never tweets at midnight, and a lot of crazy stuff happened. So after yesterday, when the rumor came out that apparently the announcement was going to be coming around midnight, everybody was kind of like, that doesn't make any sense, it's not something Nintendo would do. But funnily enough, they actually did it. Nintendo, being the kings of left field that they are, we really did get an announcement that was made at 12 o'clock midnight, at least for my time. I think in Japan it ended up being like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but the point is, it was definitely a time where Nintendo never really tweets. And when this announcement did come, Nintendo said that this was going to be a Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase, and that it was going to feature some third-party games and only going to be around 10 minutes long. So that was already a little bit upsetting to see, because the last Nintendo Direct Mini that we had back in March was around 30 minutes, and this one was going to be only around a third of it, and it just didn't make a lot of sense because they said it was going to be focused on third-party games, so people really just didn't know what to expect. And even though Nintendo straight up told us that they were not going to show us any big first party types of games, and that this Direct Mini was going to be focusing on their third party partners, people still had some crazy expectations, and I think that's why a lot of people were just so disappointed. It's so stupid like this, because people were actually, like, I know like yesterday night when all of this came out, Breath of the Wild 2 was actually trending, Smash Bros was trending, Mario was trending, people were like talking about the Mario remasters that have been rumored, people were saying we were going to see the next DLC character for Smash Bros, people were saying we were going to see stuff about Breath of the Wild 2, when the tweet literally said that it was going to focus on their third-party partners. So then when the presentation did air earlier today, I didn't really have any big expectations from what they already said last night. I wasn't expecting anything. I was kind of just like, let me go in expecting nothing and see what they have to share. And to my surprise, it wasn't really anything that I personally was super interested in, but I know there's a lot of things that some people were interested in that ended up coming out. So real quick, if you guys just want like a quick overview of all the stuff that was in this Nintendo Direct Mini and my thoughts on it, the first thing that they opened up with was Cadence of Hyrule getting some DLC. Now, I actually didn't even get this game originally when it came out. I do know people have told me that it's a pretty good game from what I've heard. It's only like $20 or $25 on the eShop, so it's definitely a pretty cheap title, and I've heard it's pretty fun because of all the Zelda stuff in it, and now it's supposed to be getting paid DLC, so that's pretty cool. I mean, from the looks of it, it does seem kind of fun. They're going to be adding new characters, new music tracks and stuff, so that's definitely good if you are interested in that game. Then from High Risk Studios, we had something called Rogue Company, which was like a game that came out that has online multiplayer, I think. Not too much to really interest me in it, so I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but I guess it's kind of cool to those of you guys who do like those online types of games. Then we had WWE 2K Battlegrounds, once again another thing that I'm not really too interested in, so I didn't really pay much attention to it, but if you like 2K games or like those sports types of games, then I guess it was kind of fun for you. And then lastly, the thing that they ended off the Direct with was that Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne is actually getting an HD remaster on the Nintendo Switch, and they finally gave us information about Shin Megami Tensei 5, the game that we pretty much have not heard anything about for like 3 years. People have been wondering when it's going to be coming since it was announced back at the Nintendo Switch presentation in 2017. It's still the only game from that presentation that has yet to release, and people were really wondering when we were going to get some new information, and we did get a confirmation that it is coming out in 2021 next year. And we got like a little glimpse of gameplay or just some information about it. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire Direct, and once again, I know that's not what people were saying. I know the rumors were that it was going to be a full-on general Nintendo Direct, and I know a lot of leakers were saying things, like Zippo was saying some stuff, King Zell said a couple of things, and then on top of that, we also had this Kelios person. And the thing here is, even though that they all agreed that something was probably going to happen on July 20th, a lot of them were saying different things. I know Zippo was basically saying that you're going to be disappointed. He was kind of anticipating that Mario stuff was going to be happening this week. He basically said like, the Super Mario 64 stuff and Super Mario Sunshine are just up-res stuff. He was saying Super Mario 3D World Deluxe is where all the new stuff is going to be added, so he was implying that Mario stuff was going to be happening. I know King Zell was saying to kind of like look forward to this week, it was going to be a general direct, and then on top of that, Kelios was saying all this stuff. So the thing is, they did end up getting stuff correct. We did actually get a Nintendo Direct, even though it's not really the type of direct that we all wanted, we still did end up getting something today. And so in my eyes, these leakers still have a pretty decent track record, but I'm basically just saying you can't trust every single thing that they say word to word. They did end up getting a couple things correct. We did get something on July 20th, just like the rumor, but it was definitely not the Mario stuff and definitely not like a full-on normal Nintendo Direct like what was rumored. Now I think that we can all agree that this Nintendo Direct was definitely not what many people expected, and I mean if we take a look at the official video right now, it's got over 50,000 dislikes. A lot of people on Twitter were very upset about this, and the thing is, even though Nintendo did say specifically last night that it was going to feature third-party games, of course you already know with the way the internet works, everybody was like, oh, Breath of the Wild 2, or they're gonna show Mario remasters, and of course none of that stuff happened. But now I kind of want to just talk to you guys about what's going on with Nintendo and what I kind of think could really happen for the rest of the year. 2020 has just proven numerous times that this is a ridiculous year, and of course this is no different with this Nintendo Direct, and the one thing that I am very confident in is that none of this was planned for this year. I really do think, of course we all know what's going on in the world right now with the virus and everything, and as much as people like to say, even though I think Nintendo did say in an interview recently that the virus isn't impacting them, or it's not like impacting them as much or something, the thing is, I feel like it really did impact them to a very big degree. I highly doubt that all of this stuff was planned for this year. There is no way that last year in 2019, Nintendo was planning their next year and they were like, okay, we're gonna have a Nintendo Direct Mini in March, and then we're gonna do another Nintendo Direct Mini in July, and we're just not gonna give them any normal Nintendo Directs. There is no way that's what they were planning. And Nintendo is definitely one of the companies that I know that cares a lot about their employees and their developers. Like, this is why they do a lot of safety precautions, and I really do think that once this virus stuff all started happening, they probably just sent everybody home. I really do think that that's probably what happened. I mean, we know that even Mr. Sakurai said in the Min Min presentation that the Smash Bros team is currently working from home. We've seen in multiple articles that Nintendo cares a lot about their employees and their developers. We've seen that Animal Crossing New Horizons was specifically delayed just so that the developers could take a breather and have some more time to successfully work on that game without being pressured. The main guy at Monolith Soft, Mr. Takahashi, also said that his #1 priority is making sure that his employees are not overworked. So Nintendo definitely cares a lot about the health and well-being of all of their workers, and I definitely do think that once all of this virus stuff started coming out, they were just like, you know what, we're just gonna send everybody home. And I really do think that as much as people like to say that it's not affecting them, I really do think maybe for Japan, because Nintendo is based in Japan, I really do think that this impacted them a lot. And it's because of this that now we have like all of these weird presentations where we're getting Nintendo Direct Minis and we're getting these things that are focused with their partners and their third parties, because without a doubt by now I'm sure we would have gotten a Nintendo Direct, and even if we didn't get a Nintendo Direct, there was supposed to be an E3 this year. Like, Nintendo always shows up to E3 with a big Nintendo Direct. There is no doubt that if it wasn't for all of this happening, Nintendo would have shown up to E3 with a big Nintendo Direct, and we would have had some stuff about Smash DLC, about Breath of the Wild 2, like that would have 100% been the case. But of course that's not because of all the stuff that's happening. And I do 100% believe that there will be some more first-party Nintendo Switch games to play in 2020 this year. It's just really weird with the direction that they're taking everything, and I really just wish that they could be more transparent. Like, I'm pretty sure if Nintendo just put up a tweet saying like, we know we're doing things a little bit differently this year, the virus has really impacted us, or like a lot of stuff has just been different for us because of everything this year, and because of that we have not been able to show you guys the games that we've been working on, and things have been delayed, but rest assured we still do have other announcements coming. I feel like if they just did that, people would be so much more relieved and being like, okay, we understand, at least they told us something. But it's the fact that Nintendo is so silent, and when they do give us stuff, it's so random, like this whole third party's Nintendo Direct, and then sometimes it's just completely random, like out of the blue, where they reveal Paper Mario as a brand new game that's going to be coming on a random Thursday. So it's just really weird with the direction that they're going, and I wish that they could just be more transparent. It's just so weird because we see all of these other companies now doing their own Nintendo Direct style types of things, and the guys who are like the goats who basically made Nintendo Directs, like these online presentations that generate a ton of hype, that give crazy new reveals, the people who invented that are not giving us anything. It's just so weird, such a crazy timeline that we live in. Now, I tweeted about this on my Twitter as well, so let's take a look at my Twitter and see if we got any responses. I asked you guys how you feel about this Nintendo Direct Mini and really just the whole direction that Nintendo is going this year. And so yeah, here is the tweet. I said, plan on making a video later today about everything going on with Nintendo this year, but I want to include your guys' thoughts as well. What do you guys think is going on with them? The virus? How do you guys feel about the rest of 2020 could go? Reply to this tweet and you could be featured. So let's scroll down here and see if we can get some responses. Snowy Squid here is saying, I have a feeling that they're gonna do an Origami King and drop a trailer for a first party within the next few weeks. People were really excited for the Origami King, and Nintendo might do a bigger game this time around since we don't have any other release dates for any first party games. And yeah, that's very possible too. I mean, Nintendo has shown that they are the kings of left field. Anything could happen. They could just be like on Thursday, here you go guys, these are the Mario remasters, here they are, you can get them this November. It could very well happen. It's just so weird because you would think it would be better off to just do them in like a stream and actually give the presentation to us, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. CNX Fanboy here is saying the coronavirus is obviously causing 2020 to be a bad year for Nintendo. The virus itself has been invading everywhere, and that is the reason why there has been too many directs this year. And yeah, it's very true. I mean, I really don't think that Nintendo planned to have 2 Nintendo Direct Minis before a full-on general Nintendo Direct. That 100% wasn't the case. I refuse to believe it was. And they definitely probably did have like a full-on Nintendo Direct plan, but I feel like this virus just came and did a whole 180 on them, and I feel like they're not telling us everything. Like even in interviews, maybe they've told their investors and things like that the virus isn't affecting them that much, but I really do think that internally Nintendo has kind of had to go through a lot with this virus. And finally, Phoenix here is saying, I think that this year could get better, but with the way Nintendo's track record has been going, I'm starting to lose hope. And the thing is, I still do think that there are going to be some other first-party games from Nintendo themselves. They still have a whole holiday title to probably announce. I mean, if anything, if they don't have any holiday game, they're just kind of missing out on a whole bunch of free sales at this point. So I do think that a holiday game is probably still going to be coming. Those Mario remasters, celebrating Mario's 35th anniversary and all that stuff, it could very well still happen. I just don't know what's going on. It's all really weird right now, and I still do think that more Nintendo announcements could come, but if anything, maybe this year might just be one of those years for Nintendo where it's just not really full of that many crazy games. Like, you know, we just have those years sometimes where you can't really expect like 7 or 8 big first party games, so maybe it's just going to be one of those years. And I mean, even if we don't get much, there still has been some really good games that have come out. Animal Crossing, Xenoblade, Paper Mario, all have been pretty good from what I've heard, so definitely still play those games. I mean, they are some good games to still play on your Switch, but yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. And yeah, that's gonna do it for all the Twitter responses. Thank you guys so much for responding. I'm sorry I couldn't read all of them. I didn't want to make this video too long, and we're already like, what, 13 or 14 minutes at this point, so I'm sorry I couldn't read all of these. But yeah, thank you guys so much for responding, and remember, if you ever want to be featured in videos like this, then just go and follow me on Twitter at Aero. And so there you go guys, those are all of my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct Mini that happened today, as well as what could be going on with Nintendo. Rest assured, I do think that there are probably still some more first party announcements coming. It's just really weird with what Nintendo's doing this year. I really wish that they could just tell us and be more clear with it, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. I do have other games to play right now. I've got a good backlog, so I'm not really too worried about not having any brand new games on the Switch. I'm fine with what we have, but it's so bizarre what Nintendo is doing. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button and also comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of all this. What do you guys think about all the stuff that Nintendo is doing this year? It's very different for sure. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it? Do you guys think that something else could still be coming later this year? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Nintendo content in the future, so definitely be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.